Let's install MySQL. So we need two products from MySQL this semester. One is MySQL Server, and that's the software, that's the relational database management software or system software that runs in the background and manages table storage and executes SQL statements against those files. And then we need MySQL Workbench, and MySQL Workbench is the GUI that we're going to use to interact with the database. So if you go to the course links folder, MySQL installers, I have a link to it, or you can just Google MySQL download. And we need two products. So there's MySQL Community Server, and then there's this product, MySQL Workbench. We need both of those. So if you click into that, it'll give you this innovation or the latest stable release is fine, and you can download it from here. But notice it gives you this MySQL installer for Windows, and that's available also as a separate link. Now, if you're in another operating system, you might have to download MySQL Server and MySQL Workbench separately. Okay, from the MySQL community downloads, I'm going to click on download. Again, I selected the latest version, and that's what I'd recommend. Just get the latest stable release, and then click download, and it takes you to a login or sign up page. And at the bottom here, there's this link, no thanks, just start my download, and click on that, and it'll start the download. Once it's downloaded, you can run it from your browser or go to the downloads folder on your computer and run the file. And look at that, I already have it. Let me remove it so I can run through the installer with you. Okay, so don't have to do that step on your computer. Now I'm going to run the installer again. And here we go. So there's a lot of different options here, and I'm just going to pick server and install the server first. So first it's going to download the product. Then it's going to do the install. Click execute to install it. And you can see it's a pretty quick download and install, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then click next, and I'm going to leave all the defaults. So you can pick different configurations. Development computer is a good one. It's just meant to be used by someone on the local computer. I'm going to install it to the default port, which is 3306, and then click next. And either one of these is probably fine, but I'll just leave the default. So here's one really important piece. Maybe write down what you enter for your MySQL root password. So many times I get requests, from students, like meeting during an office hour or something to go over things, and it's really because they forgot their password. So remember that password. Okay, MySQL runs, it's just an executable file, mysqld.exe. It sits on your hard drive, but they wrap it in what's called a Windows service, and a Windows service is just something that it will start the executable right when you log into Windows, or you can change the configuration so that it starts manually, so you have to manually start it from services, but this is the name that it'll install with, so it's just going to be MySQL and the version number. And then click next, and all the defaults are fine, execute. And now it's actually configuring the database and setting up that Windows service for us, and then it's going to actually start MySQL for us. And then click finish, and next, and finish. Okay, so MySQL is installed. I'm going to go back to that installer and just show you if you go into MySQL Server, you can modify it. If something didn't work, this would be the place to go You can modify the installation and whatnot. Okay. We also need to install MySQL Workbench. So I'm going to go back to that installers page. Let's see if I have it on my machine. Nope. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that installers page. And this time I'm going to pick MySQL Workbench. This is the GUI that we're going to use to interact with the database. And I'm going to click on the installer. And same thing, download. No thanks, just download. And go back to, is this the same? It's the same installer. Okay. Okay, I'm going to click add this time instead of modify. And this time we want applications, MySQL Workbench, and I just want the latest one. So if you were to move all of them over there, it might install all the different versions. I just want the latest one. So click next. So I'm gonna select the one I want and then move it over with this arrow, and then click next. And all the defaults are good. And it's just saying I had already installed it earlier. I uninstalled it so I could do this video. So now click next, and now it says it's ready to be installed, and I'm going to click execute, and it's now installing. And that's it for the install. So when this installer is done, it's going to open up MySQL Workbench. We're going to take a look at that in the next video and how to run some SQL statements, and we'll actually set up our databases for the class.